I'm just going to go ahead and go off script and start.
Go.
They need some entertainment, so.
He's going to dance. He's going to sing and dance. I think it, yeah, I got to turn it on. I didn't turn it on.
One thing you'll hopefully get to know about me is my wonderful sense of humor. Hello, hello. Here we go. So so welcome. Is the volume turned up back there?
We can hear it. Now you
All right.
can hear the echo.
So I was just telling another gentleman here. Westminster Communities has entered into an affiliation with Florida Presbyterian Homes. So your packages currently say Florida Presbyterian Homes because our name change has not gone through yet with the Office of Insurance Regulation. But for all intents and purposes, like you see on the little pens, we are run and operated by Westminster Communities of Florida that is located with their home office in Orlando, right? So Westminster is a Florida-based company that only has communities in Florida. We operate both continuing care retirement communities such as this, as well as rental low-income housing communities around the state. So we've been in operation again for about 70 years. We believe the affiliation is a good one. We come in, with a strong financial background and an operations background, and hope to move the community here forward in a positive way, right? I know there's been some times here after COVID, right, that we've struggled with staffing and expense control because of runaway inflation, right? We've all experienced that in our own personal lives, right? If in case anybody hasn't been to the grocery store lately, right? Groceries cost more, gas costs more, insurance costs more, right? Everything that we sort of come in contact with that we use on a daily basis to run our operations costs more. Labor's up 28%. Utilities, are up. So it's just the cost of doing business is increased. So how do we, deal with that? Well, we try to, have our business model here is we have to have, new folks coming in to support the community financially, and, we, spread the cost out amongst more people. So you guys are here to learn a little bit about that and how it can be a benefit to you, and hopefully get some good input from folks that we currently, have here. And if there's any questions, I'm always available to answer them. You guys will probably see me at different points throughout this tour today. If you do have any individualized questions, I'm happy to take them. If you have any questions now about our community, I'm happy to take them now as well. No? All right. We're all new to one another. So we'll get there. All right. Ms. Cher?
Is my microphone working? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? No. There's one on.
This one.
That was on too.
No, the red light's not red. There we go. Switch me around. Check, check. Oh, yeah, that one's definitely.
Okay.
There.
I like the blue light better anyway. Thank you for coming. Today we are Florida Presbyterian Homes, soon to be Westminster Lakeland, and we're really excited about that. Before we get started, I just want to give you an idea what we're going to do today. We're going to learn about our community today in the chapel, a little bit. If you need a break, restrooms are right across the hallway. We'll learn about our community, and then we'll go for a bus ride. We have 48 acres. We have 115 homes and duplexes and triplexes. So lots of different floor plans and lots of different choices. And the brochures that we give you some introductory information about our community, but we'll answer lots of your questions today here in the chapel and on the bus. And after the bus trip, we're going into the cul-de-sac where we have a little bistro set up in a duplex, and we'll have a catered luncheon. So We'll have lots of choices and lots of places where you can meet the neighbors, which is always the best part of the tour. My name is Cher Salvatore. I've been here for about 10 and a half years, and I can show the houses, I can show the acreage, I can show the pool and the chapel and the dining room. But when you get to meet the staff and the residents who are here, that's the best part. And we have some of the residents here. Carol is our receptionist in the main. I don't know if that's your official Westminster title now. You may have a different.
Oh, yes, receptionist, switchboard operator, and anything else that comes along.
Right. So Carol's the heart of the homes down in the main lobby. When the residents need help and they need assistance, Carol's the one they go to. She helped us build pictures and information at Valentine's Day in the lobby, and we're going to share that with you in just a few moments. We have residents who have been here for years. We have one couple who's been married for 61 years. I met with a couple last week who had been married 62 years, and then we have newlyweds, and we're going to talk about that in a little while too. Susan Trevino's in the back here. She is my partner, and she's here to answer questions too and guide you along the way. Susan set up the bistro, so we're going to call it Susan's Bistro because she has it all set up. The luncheon is being served in one of our duplexes called the Waverly Duplex. It's the only floor plan that has a name, and that's because most of them are on Waverly Court and Waverly Place. So you want to show us that PowerPoint. This PowerPoint was put together by Susan Trevino and Cheryl, who's here with us today, who volunteered to help us out. Thank you. You're just going to meet some of the residents who put their pictures in the lobby when Carol had her contest. We're practicing. It starts as a very quiet moment. That's right. By the way, Doug is new with us. He just started, I think, around Thanksgiving. He didn't tell the most exciting part that we heard when he first came here. He's been living on a boat for about 15 years. Lots of people like to hear that. He's going to become a homeowner, and he's going to move to Lakeland soon, but we're really glad he's here. He has a very dry sense of humor. It's a lot of fun. I don't know why he couldn't. Then he would be so close. And he may figure out how to turn on the PowerPoint. While we're waiting to figure out how the PowerPoint works, I would like to introduce a couple to you who moved in very recently. It makes me a little nervous when I say, "Would you like to speak today?" And the wife says, "I'm worried about what he'll say." And I say, "I'm entertained by what he'll say." I met with David and Mary Lou just not that long ago, just a few weeks ago, and they wanted to learn about our community. They have very interesting stories. I mistakenly mentioned that Mary Lou was a cowgirl. She told me she was an equestrian, so I got that straight. But they moved in recently. So while we're talking about the PowerPoint that might work, and we'll see it if it does, I would like David and Mary Lou to kind of come up and tell their story. Are you good with that? And by the way, they will be at the luncheon, so if you want to ask them, can you turn the lights back on, please? They will be at the luncheon, so if you want to ask them questions, they'll be there to answer. If David doesn't misbehave and we don't kick him out, they'll be there to answer the questions at the luncheon. Right. that working? Can you hear him? Okay.
And we take them on the tour, like you're on. Everything looked good, and we toured the facility. Met with Cher,
A little closer.
okay,
Thank you. Can you hear him?
and we decided that this was where we wanted to be. We have children, one in Mississippi, one in Maine. We don't either one want to live in Mississippi or Maine. And they don't want to live in Florida. So we decided this was the place to go. Everything has been fantastic. We live in a duplex, and the duplex was repainted, everything was done. The Friday before we were going to move in on Wednesday, we moved in on February 1st, Mary Lou's birthday. That was her birthday present, was moving. So Friday, we met with Cher,
Excuse me.
went to the house, and she said, I've got good news and bad news. The house is all painted, everything is clean,
Closest with a
everything
magnet.
is ready. We're not happy with this floor, it's ready. The floor had started, somebody had put too much water on it, and the floor had started to kind of buckle up in places. Cher says, go down to the place that they purchased their flooring from, pick out what you want, and we'll have it installed before Wednesday.
Oh,
Mary Lou and I looked at one another and said, that's not gonna happen. When we arrived Wednesday, the new floor was down, and everything was the way it was supposed to be. We've taken advantage of their gym. They have a full gym, which I'm sure we'll see today. We volunteer at Sun and Fun every day. So we go to the gym when it opens at 6 in the morning. We have been enjoying the pool. It is a very nice place to be. We've met a lot of the residents. Everybody's friendly, and it's really been a good experience.
Good morning. We arrived from work a few minutes ago, so I'm kind of disheveled. I wasn't supposed to speak, I didn't think, but here I am. David said that it was a beautiful place, and it truly is. Right in front of this building, there's a nice walkway, and beyond that is livestock. There's birds, there's turtles, and probably alligators. I didn't see one. As I walked along the shoreline back up to where I live, I noticed there was a little trail through the bushes. And I'm thinking, that's not a gator. That's a good thing, because I put my kayak down at the lake. I'm ready to go as soon as I'm able to. I've been doctoring for a bad back, so I don't dare do something like that yet. But we had very few opportunities because of our work schedule to get involved in what's going on here. And from 6 o'clock in the morning on, there's something happening usually. All you have to do is keep up with the notices, and that's a tricky thing to do. We were getting a newsletter like every week, and now it's coming out daily, I see. So on your computer, you'll find it. The things that are going on, you're all welcome to join. And we chose to join a group of people that were playing Mexican Train Monday night. It was a wild bunch. Some people were crowned because they became winners, including him. We had a great time. So, you know, you will find people that you like sooner or later. Just keep trying. And I like Cher.
Thank you. The secret is don't walk past the chapel when we're having an event, because then they'll say, of course, we want to hear your story. David and Mary Lou have also referred some of their friends to us, and when our residents move here, if they refer a friend, they will get a concession of $200 a month for 12 months, so that's kind of nice. They move their friends in, they get their friends or their neighbors, and they move them in. Carol distributes information to the residents every day, every week, every morning, every moment. So I'm going to let her tell you how we keep the residents posted and how they know what's happening so they don't miss one of our events. You can stay as busy as you want to be or not stay busy at all. It's your choice. So can you do that for us, Carol? Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I see some familiar faces. I'm basically the first face you see when you come into Forward Bunker Lobby. As soon as the door opens, I'm there. So I have been with Florida Presbyterian Homes for about 8.5 years, soon to be Westminster. Well, we are Westminster, I should say. And the residents come to me with all different kinds of issues or concerns, such as being locked out of their apartment or trying to find emails on their phone, you name it. If I can't help you, I will send you to somebody who can. So basically, I'm kind of like the interim for any kind of concerns or issues that you may have. I do the 3 newsletters that we send out. I send it electronically, and also we do have hard copies for those of you that are electronically challenged. The daily one is the Daily Scoop, and that's full of all the events that are coming up for that week and some in the coming weeks so that you can make reservations with the different event planners. Then we have the weekly Now Read This, and then we also have the Lake Hunter. That one comes out monthly, and that is done by the Residents' Council. I just oversee it and make sure it gets printed and gets distributed to everybody. But the Resident Council it's made up of all our residents. So the residents actually do this one newsletter that comes out monthly. It has all kinds of information and pictures and things like that. So it's a very interesting paper. Now, there are 2 things that I've really got involved in. One is about 7 years ago, I started a tradition, which is the family Christmas tree that our residents bring their own ornaments. We place it on the tree in Forward Bunker, and we have a party. We sing Christmas carols, we reminisce, and we just have a good time. We have hot chocolate and cookies. I'm from up north, so that's the reason why you get hot chocolate, because that's a standard for December. We have a cabinet in Forward Bunker, and we got tired of looking at the dinnerware that was in there, the teacups and plates. So we decided to do away with that, and every month I do some kind of challenge in that little cabinet that we have. And this time, for February, I decided to do something where I had all the residents bring their wedding photos or a prom picture or just their favorite Valentine. And we had them displayed in the cabinet. Then I decided to make it a little challenge that they had to identify the people. And you know, after 30, 40, 50 years, we all do change a little bit. So it made it a challenge. But we did have 2 people that did identify most of our pictures, and that was Lee and Marilyn Randolph. So they won a little prize. But you will see, I guess, I haven't seen this presentation, but this is going to be a little bit about the pictures that we have down in the cabinet. And that's about, basically, I do just about anything that may come up. So you'll see me, my name is plastered all over, so you will get to meet me in one way or the other, because I come into your homes every day with the Daily Scoop. So you will see my name all over. But that's me.
Thank you, Carol. So now we're going to see the little PowerPoint. We're going to see the wedding pictures of the residents that were in the contest and Carol put together for us. And you may see some of your friends. You may see people you recognize. I don't think I would have done very well if I was trying to guess who some of the brides and some of the grooms were, but here are some of our residents. Let's just see them. I like the vintage look. This is Jim and Marilyn Cummings, both retired pastors. She was on our board of directors. And you will meet them at the luncheon in the Waverly duplex. They will probably invite you to their home to see what the duplex looks like with furniture, including her grand piano, and then she will say, I made the bed for you. So I'm predicting what that conversation will look like. This is Kathy Volston. She's in charge of our library. And Grace and Bud Whitmer. Mrs. Holzer came from Indianapolis. That's where I came from. Alan Stevens, they came here about 10 years ago when I came here and brought their grandson who was too shy to talk to us. And they said, don't talk to him. He won't talk to you. He won't look at you, but he needs to be with us today. He has come back to visit and had a lunch date with me for probably 9 years. So he's all grown up now. I think he's engaged. Jim Schaffner and Ray Borkline and her husband, Bob. The Borkwines lived in the cul-de-sac where we're going to go, and they have recently graduated to an apartment. So they didn't want to drive anymore. They were ready to move to an apartment, and that's exactly what they've done. We'll show you the one they just moved out of too, which we just added a sunroom onto the back of. And Dr. Gene Scruggs, he lives upstairs over our main lobby, over Carol's office. And Joyce Trafton has been here on the property. Her home, the home she's in, is beautiful. Lake views all around, and we just got a plaque for a 100-year-old home that she's living in. And Red Out lives upstairs. Go back. Can you go back one? Is that too complicated? If it is, don't bother. Nope, the other way. That's okay. If it's too hard. We're going to practice on this PowerPoint. We haven't been doing that for a while. This is Roy Dyer. He lives upstairs. And so those are some of our couples who live here. But sometimes, and many times, we have single residents because a large percentage of our residents are single. Can you hit that light again? Sometimes we move a single gentleman in, and I remember very well a conversation with a single gentleman who moved in quite a few years back. I'm not sure how many years. He had a beautiful Corvette. He had a lovely golf cart, and he played golf at Grasslands Golf Course every day. So when I parked my car in the morning, he drove by and flashed his Corvette lights, and he went to play golf. Eventually, we purchased his little golf cart because he didn't need it anymore. So we have a big cart and a little cart, and that is Bill Deal's golf cart. So I said to him, gosh, the ladies are going to be so happy to welcome you to the neighborhood. And he said, well, that's great. Please tell them that I like cherry pie, and I'm not looking for a girlfriend. So I told everyone that he liked cherry pie, but I figured he could tell them the rest of his story. The reason we're talking about Bill Deal today is because he and his bride, Ethel Ewing, are in our audience, and Ethel also moved in as a single lady. Now, we've had 3 weddings in the 10 years that I've been working here. We're not matchmakers, but it does happen. So we thought we're so close to Valentine's Day, we'll hear the stories and we'll let them tell us. Bill spoke. We sent a postcard out a few years ago with a picture of his Corvette. and a gal that rode her bicycle miles and miles every day, parked out on Lake Hunter. And when that postcard hit the mailboxes and it said, "Not your granny's retirement home," we filled this chapel a couple of times. We had to fill it twice, and then we had to fill it a third time. And Bill spoke, and Bill took us into his home, and we saw all of his art. And then he met Ethel. And I'm going to let them tell their story. Please welcome Ethel Ewing Deal and Bill Deal. Use this. Hang this around your neck. Oh, I didn't tell your story. Go right around your neck. Okay.
Can you hear us?
I don't know. Can you? Okay, good. Okay, I'm going to start because I've been here longer, but I'm not older. I'm not the oldest. Oh, well. Anyway, I came to Florida Presbyterian Home in 2015. I have two daughters. One lives here in Lakeland. The other one lives in Riverview. I have 4 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren. Well, I have to tell you a little bit about the great-grandchildren. One is 2, and the other one is 6 months. So that's exciting. And it's nice to have our family close by, but we both decided when we came here we wanted to be independent. We don't want them to have to take care of us in our old age. So here we are. And when we're not able to stay independently, then we'll move on up the line. Okay? The neighbors were all very friendly, inviting us to come get involved, getting involved in everything. I have one special friend, Ann Kinsey, and she invited me to Walking Aerobics, which is a program over at the MacArthur Center. So I started out doing that.
And I came here in 2017 with my 2017 white Corvette. I was surprised how everybody reacted to it because I thought it was a pretty nice car, and I guess I was too old to have a car like that. But anyway, I don't have it anymore. Since we've been married and have other things to do, I had to get rid of the Corvette. But anyway, I have a daughter. She lives here in Lakeland, and I've been in Lakeland for 35 years. I had a business here, and I still play golf. I play golf 3 to 4 times a week, and that's my hobby. So anyway, that's my life.
Oh, I have my own microphone. Okay. In 2017, I was teaching a line dance class at Kelly Rec, and I decided that I would let someone else do that, and I would start one here. They asked me if I would start a line dance class here, so I did, and we're still doing that today. In fact, it's this afternoon. Okay. And Ann, this my special friend, we call her our Cupid, she encouraged Bill to come to my class.
And I guess it's my turn. Okay. Yes, Ann was a friend of both of us, and we walk a lot in this community. And a lot of the people have dogs, so you stop and you talk to people and you pet the dogs and so forth. But anyway, we love dancing, and we line dance whenever we can. We're square dancing also. They had a square dancing thing here for a while. It's gone now, but anyway, I guess I could tell you about, we started going out with each other and going other places and dancing, and so we spent quite a bit of time doing other things. We would well, we walk around the lake, we walk that every day. We do 2 miles, 2 to 3 miles every day walking. I'm 88 years old and Ethel is 84. And
Now,
so anyway, we keep ourselves in shape and so forth. Where are we, Ethel?
I think we're past that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, were you going to say about this or no?
Oh, yeah, well, our first date, this is kind of funny. Because we do everything together, we decided that I took her out to dinner one night down at the Patio Restaurant. It's just down here on Frank Lloyd Wright Avenue. It's an outside restaurant. You can go there and eat. We were eating pizza. And we both sat there and we looked at each other and I said, are we dating? And she wondered the same thing. And she says, yes, we're dating, but we're not going to get married. That was the one thing that she said. And I said, well, I agree with you. I like my life. I'm playing golf and I go on trips. I had a camper also, and I would drive around the country and stay in my camper. So that was my lifestyle, and she does everything. So I'll let you tell her about all that.
Okay. So I was active in my church, which is here. See, both of us lived in Lakeland before, so we had our own things going on. I was active in the church, and I was the treasurer for the United Methodist Women for the conference, for the Florida conference. So when I finished my tenure at that, I said, okay, I'm ready to get more involved in Presbyterian Home. So I did. I was secretary to the Residence Council for 3 years, and we are co-treasurers of the Ball Shop Bid House, which if you haven't heard about that, you'll hear about it. I meant to bring a brochure, but I forgot to stick it in here. Okay, now I think that's it. And then it's your turn.
I don't know where we are here. Okay. Well, we said we've got that covered too.
Okay.
There's a lot of things that we do here in the neighborhood that you get to know everybody because you meet them on walking and so forth. And we go on vacations with them. We've gone on cruises with them. We meet for date night every Tuesday night. We go to a different restaurant and eat, and there's a group of us that do that. I don't know what else. Oh, we have an academy, and they'll probably tell you about that. This is every other week. The speaker is invited in to talk about some subject. The people that live here, they're ministers, there's doctors, there's business owners, there's nurses, there's teachers. I mean, it's every walk of life lives here. So you get a great education just talking with people and about what they've done in their lifetimes.
My turn?
Your turn.
Okay, we have often said it is so great to live in a home, a place where there's a college, in a town where there's a college, because we do a lot of things at Florida Southern. In fact, we're going to a basketball game tonight. But the music department has concerts, the faculty, and the students are excellent. They'd have plays, so we go to all of those. And then I guess the thing that I wanted to say last was, I think we said everything else. Okay, so InterShare. And she said, we have a duplex available that I think you might be interested in, because it's a little bigger than his or my. We were in separate houses. It was a little bigger than either of ours, and so we decided that we would move in together. And then I said, well, if we're going to move in together, we should get married. So we did. And we will have been married a year on March the 4th, which is next week. Yeah. And I also have to say that we got to pick out our colors like everyone else that we got to pick out. They were sharing that. And I said, oh, do I get to pick out the color for the door? And she said, yes. So we're probably the only ones in the neighborhood that have a pretty purple door. Passion purple, I think it's called.
And we live right on the lake, and we have a glassed-in porch out on the back, and it's beautiful. We watch all the wildlife, and that's a wonderful thing that we have here. It's just so much to do. We can't even tell you everything that we do because we're busy all the time. Today, we have line dancing this afternoon after lunch. Then tonight, we go to the basketball game. Florida Southern basketball I've been going to those games for 30 years. And there's just a lot to do around here. We live close to downtown. And go ahead, you can.
Thank you very much. So how does it all begin? It all begins as a conversation, and that's how they joined us, and now they're here. When we're on that bus tour, you're going to see that purple front door, and you're going to see where they are, and they are in a duplex that we actually built. Thank you very much for your time today. Our residents move here and select a home, duplex or triplex. You're going to see several today on the bus tour. It takes a while to find the right home and know that you're ready to move here. I always say you can either get ready, to get ready, to get ready, or you can get ready and move here. So we have the king of Mr. Get Ready, to get ready, to get ready in the audience, and he's smiling. He knows exactly who he is. Charlie Burdett is one of the first people I met when I came to work here 10.5 years ago. Terry, my partner, said to me, that's Charlie Burdett. And I said, oh, I like that name. My daddy's name was Charlie. I'll remember him. And she goes, don't worry, he'll never move here. We'll be dead and gone before he ever decides to move here, but you'll probably see him every day. Charlie's mother lived in an apartment upstairs over our offices. He was here with her every morning. He was here with her every evening, and we loved her very much. Charlie really wanted a specific home in a specific neighborhood. We knew exactly what home he wanted, and we had it all picked out. Well, most people don't get to pick out the address they want, but Charlie, he's special. Having been here every day, he knew where he wanted to be. So when that home came available, I said, guess what, it's available. But before I offered it to him, I met with our executive director, John Hain, and I said, are you positive that I can move Charlie Burdett into this particular home? And he said, yes, I am. And I said, are you sure? And he said, go for it. Show him the home. So I called Charlie. He lives close by. He came over. We looked at it. He loved that home. And he said, I'm going to take it. It's 2 bedrooms. It's 2 baths. It's a 1-car garage. We love those orangey shutters that were on. It was beautiful. Perfect home for him. And that was about 4 o'clock that same day, right? About 9 o'clock the next morning, John Hain called me and said, we're taking that house down. We've just gotten permission to build 20 more beds in our skilled nursing. So we had 48 beds, now we have 68 beds, and no Charlie Burdett. So he's back on the list, always smiling, always volunteering, always here at our special events, and always waiting. And I speak with him about every 3 months about a new address, and one of these days, we're going to move him in. I just don't know when that's going to happen. But we're going to look again today. I know where he wants to be. You're going to see the whole neighborhood today. We're going to drive around the 48 acres. I'm going to show you the neighborhood. We're going to answer a lot of your questions out and about and on the bus and where we're dining. It'll make it easy. It's easier to talk about a home and what happens when you move into a home when we're in the home. Because every home any home that we may offer you will have its own special story and its own special finishes and its own special description. So one way to move here is to consider our waiting list. And we'll talk more about that when we're in the homes too. Sometimes we will have someone come to look around with us, and they'll be ready to move sooner rather than later. And once in a while, a home falls off the waiting list. And what does that mean? That means that it's a little too small for the next few people that are ready to move in. We've got a 3-part waiting list. We've got kids who are not old enough to move in. Last month, we moved in 2 62-year-olds who had to wait for their birthday to live here. And we've got youngsters, 55 and between 55 and 62. They can't move here yet because you need to be 62. But they're waiting, and they know when it's their turn, they'll be at the top of the list. Then we have the people on the waiting list who are just kind of waiting, they're marinating, and if we see the right house, they might be interested. They'd like to look. Maybe they don't want to move for a year or so. But again, if they find the right house and the right floor plan, they're going to be ready to move. So that's a constant conversation. We try to keep in touch with them every few weeks. Then we have the people on the waiting list who may move here, but they don't know when. And one couple lives in Grassland. They told me within the last couple of weeks that when they're old enough to move here, they will do so. She is 98, he is 102. So I don't know how old I will be when they're ready to move here. We're going to catch the bus in about 5 minutes or so. In the meantime, and I'm not limiting you, but by all means, we can answer any questions you have. But we'll be down there about 11 o'clock or so to catch the bus. So if you have questions, we can answer them. And again, we'll answer many more questions in the homes. It's easy to talk about the homes when you're in one and talk about how it's prepared for you to move in. Do you have questions? Carol, you had a lot of questions this morning. Would you like to repeat your questions?
One of the questions I had was, are pets allowed? And that's been answered, yes, pets are allowed. The other question was about,
Sorry.
one of the questions I had earlier on had already been answered. The one question that came up, meals were à la carte, so that's not included in that. So could you elaborate a little bit more on those two items?
Sure, sure. Okay, now I'm just going to use one microphone. I guess I was using 2 microphones. I'm going to be sure everybody can hear me. There is, in the brochures that we're giving you, there is a list of everything that's included in the home with the monthly maintenance fee. When you're in a home or a house or a duplex, and triplex too, we're going to see a triplex today too. We pay the water, the sewer, the trash, the pest control. You pay the electricity and the cable. We do all the landscaping. All of your appliances are furnished. If the hot water heater is misbehaving or the roof is leaking or there's wind damage from a tree limb, we take care of that. We do the landscaping, the irrigations, and again, when we're on the bus, you'll see so much more of the community, and we'll talk about that. We love the pets. They are very welcome here. We like to meet the pets. In fact, I have an interview tomorrow at 1 o'clock with a pet named Moses who is coming, and his parents were here for a tour last week. They're bringing their application in Thursday, and he's coming for his personal interview. They live in the Villages. So he is used to riding on the golf cart and visiting with all the neighbors on their golf carts. We use golf carts here too, and our residents use golf carts here, which makes it really nice. So he's going to come, he's going to meet us, he's going to ride on the golf cart. One of the rules is that he'll certainly go in to see Carol because she'll have to see him. And the maintenance guys all carry the dog snacks. So we love the dogs here. We love the pets, all the pets. And the nice thing is when you move here and you meet your neighbors and you form your village, you know who's there for you if there's an emergency. If your pet needs to be walked and you can't walk them, I'll see one lady walking 2 dogs and I'll know that lady's on vacation or that lady may be at the doctor's office that day. Sometimes we need more help with our pets. Sometimes we need someone who will take our pet if we should pass away or if we should graduate to more care within the community or we do have an emergency. I happen to have a Havanese named Sailor. And we had a lady who lived here named Sherry Northcutt, a wonderful lady who had a little Havanese named Mowgli. Well, her Havanese was 6 pounds, mine was 16 pounds, but every time Sherry had an emergency or a medical situation, she would ask if Mowgli could come stay with Sailor and play with Sailor. So Mowgli came to play with us a lot. He was in our Christmas pictures, he was in our Valentine pictures, and he really had a good time at our house. And when Sherry became so ill that she knew that Mowgli couldn't stay with her, she asked if Mowgli could come live with Sailor. So he did. Many of our residents here with pets have a backup plan, and it's usually their neighbor and the neighbor in the village. If you had come to our Chico's Style Show in this location a few months ago, you would have seen a couple of the dogs who were in the style show, one of which is named Chico. So we had a Chico Style Show and Chico. So we may see these pets out on the property. We've got lots of pets. We welcome them. We have a dog park and terrific place to walk them around Lake Hunter. Are there other questions we could answer now, or would you rather talk about it on the bus and in the bistro? Sure. If our residents move into an apartment, they get 1 main meal per day, a meal of their choice. If they move into a house or a duplex or a triplex into residential living, they simply use their fob and charge the meals they want to go to. So you make a reservation with our hostess. You go when you want to. I always say the busiest day in the dining room is liver and onion day. I don't know why. They say that they know how to do it. But you simply make a reservation. We don't have a meal plan for our residents other than they charge when they want to go. And the reason is we used to have a meal plan years ago. Our founder, Dr. Monty Johnson's daughter, Anna Bissing, lives here with her husband, Dick. And they had a home in North Carolina. And they would go to North Carolina, and then they would have all those credits from the days they were living in the mountains. And then when they would come back, they had a certain amount of time to use the credits. We just thought it made it easier. Go when you want to, and just make a reservation. Every meal, every day, every holiday are served in the dining room. You can also have meals delivered. So we can accommodate special diets. We're not going to eat in the dining room today because we're going to have this catered luncheon in the duplex, but we will have events in the future where we'll have dining room included too. So we certainly would like you to come back and come for one of those events in the future. More questions? A good quiet group? Okay, Susan, you want to tell John O about we're about ready to catch the bus? You're going to meet a lot of our team members out and about today. We have a new driver. His name's Mario. I haven't even met him yet. He knows his way around because I showed him around today. So we're going to go around all the property, and we'll see a lot of the community.
2 weeks for this, so.
Pardon me?
So he's been training for 2 weeks.
Oh, 2 weeks, so we won't get lost. Yeah. So, right.
I think he knows the route. He's been following.
So we've got enough seats on the bus. We're going to go down towards the dining room. There's a restroom right here. There's another restroom down by where we're going to catch the bus. Doug, you want to send them out this door towards me, and I'll go down by Katie's office and bring them on down through the elevator? Can we do that? So we're going to take a little walk.